A quick diving into the structure of copper to understand what copper it's all about. Copper is playing a huge role both for commercial and industrial application. You can imagine the electrical system in your homes. All the cables are made from copper. Some are aluminum, like the high tension, but majority of domestic electrical appliances, electrical cabling are done with copper. Copper has huge commercial and industrial application. So we like to see what the structure is saying about this precious metal. Copper price will continue to surge. But we want to look at the weekly structure. What are we looking for in the weekly structure? We want to see break of structure on the weekly. A higher time frame break of structure holds perfectly. So we want to see here after price made a push in 2020, we have a break of structure here, a support structure. We have a resistance structure, break, price returned. So let's look at it. We're on a weekly. We will try to avoid cutting the body of any candle. So these are weekly structure. We are not going to cut the body, but we can play with the wicks. You can cut the legs and leave the head. So don't mind me, I'm just playing now. Just kidding. Just kidding. So we have here, we're able to see a structure. We look out for structure. That is all we look for, structure first, before any other thing. We have here a resistance structure. We have here a support structure. We connect the two structure and wait to see what will happen in the future. When price returned, you have a big sell, a big buy. So it is what it is. Support structure, support structure. We already have a breakout. I mean, these are resistance level. So when we say structure is broken, you don't be in awe. Look at the structure here. Resistance structure, resistance structure, break. So we already have a break of structure. So all we are looking out for is where we will get our price actions right. And when price returned in the month of May 2024 on retest to the ascending trend line, price dropped actively. Then we also go back to see another support structure on the weekly. We have here support structure, support structure, support structure, support structure, support. So we will want to hold this responsible. But let's look at the weeks because we are on a weekly candle and we want to see how the market is measured accurately. A support structure, a support structure, another support. This is the legs called the wicks, rejection, price rejecting a level, and the rejected the same level, break of a support structure, price came back on retest. I will call this RT, ROS, RTRS is a retest candle and a current resistance becomes support on break of the structure. And the market always do things that counters every idea. When price returned to this level again, we were respected. The weekly candle got rejected again, but we had a weekly fake out because the market makers understand that a lot of people understand structure of the market. So you can't always be right. So price came down here, respected the weekly resistance structure. Then we have the next week candle break the structure, telling you where our roof is. The strategy is to find out a long-term roof with a strong price action. If you are able to find your long-term roof with a strong price action, what price action should we look out for in our roof? A previous support become resistant. A previous resistance becomes support. We want this interchange of character. The interchange of character to a particular line tells a story. So you will know where the liquidity for buy and sell has been playing. As a we have here as a resistance structure, SR. We have here as ROS. ROS means resistance becomes support and break of structure. And here it becomes SR, support become resistance and break of structure. After we broke structure, we return as retest candle, RT, SR. Here we return as retest candle and as support become resistance. So this becomes our new roof. I call it supply roof. You sell from the roof and buy from the floor. So this is our supply roof. We want a demand floor. We will look at it critically to see the price action. We have here resistance. We have here support, a break of a support structure, retest, retest. We have here retest. These are weekly candles. What? So we like to see what the weekly candle is doing by mere interpretation of the structure. So we have found our roof. Now we are looking for our floor. I would like to use green to keep me on the floor. The floor is for buy. Now we have found our floor, which is a buy floor. The evidence to why this floor is valid, it's ascending. We will talk of trend angle in another series. How trend angle affects trend line and the potency of trend angle and how you can incorporate trend angle in your strategy to guide you in your bias. So we have here a support structure, a weekly support structure, a break of a weekly support structure, candle return as retest. So I want to use here as SR. SR becomes support, become resistance on breakup structure. This strategy is completely orthodox, developed as a result of extensive studying of market behavior. So we came to the conclusion that everything that happens in the market is based on demand and supply. And every demand and supply is tied to break of structure. When a demand level is broken, it becomes a resistance level. When a resistance level is broken, it becomes a demand level. They're interchanging. Look at it. We have here support structure. A break of a support structure becomes a resistance structure. So we have here as RT, RS, and price has played actively by close of the weekly candle. The next week open on a massive drop. So this is our floor. We will hold this floor responsible for future bias. We have here ROS, that is resistance becomes support, but this is a retest candle. So we are going to label this RT, RS, a retest candle, and a resistance becomes support on break of the structure. When price returned to this level, price respected this price action on weekly, showing us a rejection weekly candle. Subsequent weeks broke the structure and returned for a buy. It is always important to create a zone. The zone are areas of critical trespass. When those areas are trespassed, it calls for trigger. So on a weekly, it will be appropriate to create a weekly zone. Creating a weekly zone allows you to watch when price plays into the zone for a buy. So we have this as our weekly zone. Watching price to return into the zone. The more cautious you are about your zone, the more likely you will lose out on many trades, because too many precautions shows that you are not ready for the great loss. It's not about how much you win, it's about how much you lose if you are wrong. So if your zones are too precautious, you stand a chance of not having a triggered price. So we have here again a return to our buy floor. This is a demand floor, which we are going to call, because that is a retest candle, I will call it RTSR. RTSR applies played into our demand floor, and price triggered a massive buy and another return, another massive buy. So we return again on the ascending demand floor. Every time price returns, it's a buy on ascending trend line. We must keep in mind that every trend line have an angle. That is what brought about this. If you look here, you have trend angle. It's a very strong trade secret which I don't intend to spill. So except we have some sort of agreement, then I will tell you that it's a secret discovery in the financial market. So we have here on our roof side, and we have here as our floor. So floor demand. Floor demand at the buy has kept price. If you check from 2019, we have a support structure, a break of a support structure, price return in February 2020 for a retest. And we came to the level again on Monday, June 2020 to retest a broken support become resistance, and price broke out from the resistance structure, return as a support, RTSR. Now the market is uptrending. What does this represent? What does this signify for copper market? That copper will continue to surge. We are playing on a support structure. So when price return on ascending trend line, a floor, a demand floor, price bought in July 2022, another return October 2022, price bought, another return October 2023, price bought, and we came closer in February 2024 and price left. But that price action can also be understood if we take our current all-time high and we look at from the breakout of the descending trend line on a weekly time frame, we will better understand and see the price action. So we look at it, we have the new high in 2022 and price returned in June 2023. We had another touch in April 2023 and we had another point in August 2023 and we had a breakout November 2023 and came back on retest December 2023. So technically, we are guided by a zone after the body of the candle. The zones will have to do with the wicks. Too much precaution will take you out of the trade. Your trade will not be triggered. Too much precaution. So we have a breakout. So technically, once we have a breakout, keeping our floor in mind that the floor has been touched, we fulfill the floor demand. This is a demand zone where the big buyers are waiting to push price to the upside with a motive to get to the supply roof where sell order lies. So graphically, everything can be understood using the structure of the market. So what we see here is price return. So I will call the roof, this is a temporary descending trend line. I will call DTL, descending trend line. Our descending trend line is acting as a temporary roof. I will call it ROS. Resistance becomes support on break of structure. We cannot have an active roof without price testing on multiple times for us to consider it a psychological level. So we have ROS1, ROS2, which is a retest candle, ROS3, ROS4, a breakout from the structure. Price came on retest December. This is a retest candle, which I will call RT. So price return here and set copper on a bullish pedestal and price upswinged, and to guide our buyers on a weekly time frame we found another support. If we check, we're going to take it out, but we like to see how everything transpired on the weekly. We have here a weekly, this is a weekly support, a weekly support structure, a weekly support structure, a weekly support structure, breakout of the structure, price broke out from a, okay, price came back on retest. After touching the floor, pick liquidity because this is a demand floor. So for every time price comes to the demand floor, expect a buy. So the buy momentum is still active. So it is okay to see that a broken support structure within a short time. can turn to a resistance structure after testing again, price broke and returned to a buy floor.